This is my new toy. It does acupuncture for you. So yeah, I'll finish this and then I'll start my video. So you've probably seen so many different influencers, your family and friends using this AI art, and you see so many of their self-portraits, like kind of futuristic paintings of themselves, some space themes, some fairy themes, and it's all using this app called Lensa. And I gotta say, it's pretty cool. It's not exactly normal for you to see so many of these like artistic photos of yourself, so I can see why loads of people are just booming and constantly putting up all of these photos, and on Instagram it's gone completely viral. And whilst I was seeing so many cool different pictures from my favorite influencers and friends and family, and then I started to see many more comments showing like what the ethics are, how it's stealing a lot of artists' work, and overall it's not a good sign for current artists of today. So let's talk about AI generated art, and also I want to mention something because there was another rabbit hole that I went into, and that is about AI influencers. So over the past few years we've seen like a huge surge of just AI intelligence everywhere, and especially it comes into the world of creativity, arts, music, and AI algorithms are able to produce their own paintings, their own music, their own copywriting, and it even goes on to even poetry and writing scripts. So have a look at this. We have a few AI bots such as DALL-E generating art from words, and this one comes from OpenAI and it's free to use, and all you have to do is just describe something and it will create it for you, and it can be really simple. It can also be something really complex and something that completely doesn't exist in this world. So here we have DALL-E. There was like DALL-E 1 and DALL-E 2. DALL-E 2 is the newer version. I think there was like a more updated way, and it's got things like an astronaut riding a horse in a photorealistic style, and it's got this example here that they show on the website. And then there's also this other one where it shows a fox sitting in a field at sunrise in the style of Claude Monet. It gave that exact style and it's really accurate. So let's test this out. So let's do cats dancing in the clouds. And then here we have it. We have a few cats here just dancing in the clouds. And how about a blue cake amongst some strawberries? And then some of these, like, they're really quite realistic. If you look from afar, then it does look pretty photorealistic, but then it's only until you get up close that's when you can tell. But some of these photos, or artistic photos, they look pretty accurate, but they do have a blue cake amongst strawberries. And there's another AI bot coming from the same company, and it's called ChatGPT, and this is where you can have a text conversation with them. And to be really honest, I don't know whether you noticed that I actually used the script written by ChatGPT, and all I had to do was just insert a few samples, put in my own opinion, but the overall structure is actually from an AI. And usually I would do this all on my own. I would just write it out. I'll write like a broad outline because I can write a video essay and it was pretty simple to do, but for a AI to be able to do that for me, that was pretty amazing. So here I can ask, what is Chanel's core value? And let's see what it comes out with. Chanel is a luxury fashion brand founded by Gabrielle Coco Chanel in 1909. The brand is known for high quality clothing, accessories and fragrances, has a reputation for luxury style and sophistication. Chanel's core values are centered around creating timeless, elegant and innovative products that are both functional and aesthetically pleasing. The brand also values tradition and the art of craftsmanship and has a strong commitment to sustainability and social responsibility. In addition to these core values, Chanel also emphasizes the importance of creativity and individuality in its products and brand image. So it basically did my research for me and it outlined all of Chanel's core values, and this one is actually pretty accurate. Interpretation, all the facts are there, and the explanation, spot on. So maybe let's try something a little bit more complicated, and I'm going to ask GPT, can you write a script, or maybe a YouTube script for my channel How Chic about Chanel. Wow, it says hello and welcome to How Chic. It sounds just like how I used to open up my videos. And today we're going to talk about it. Really sounds natural to me when I read it. It's really bizarre. There was one that I did earlier and I think it was slightly different, and it says, hi there, today we're going to talk about one of the most iconic fashion brands in the world, Chanel. So I think it does change its way of creating a script. So it's not always the same answer. They always give a really good overall structure. Like that text is always really good, and the general facts, you need to make sure that it is factually correct, because sometimes they can actually get it a little bit wrong. And in this segment it says, today Chanel is still at the forefront of the fashion industry, with the creative director Karl Lagerfeld leading the brand into the future. That is where we know, if you have been watching my channel or you are big Chanel lovers, you would know that the creative director isn't Karl Lagerfeld anymore. It's a little bit outdated, and the current director is Virginie Viard. So it's not perfect. It's not something that will replace a human copywriter. Still doesn't have the ability to fact check. It especially doesn't have the ability to add in examples or cite some sources, especially personal opinions. It doesn't have that, and all of these human touches, they're all still very valuable. I think it is a useful tool, but it isn't something that's going to replace anyone yet. What is it going to do to affect the future of art and creativity? Will it actually replace human artists and creators? So going back to the app called Lensa, there's a lot of people sharing their funky pictures online, and loads of people say that when you use AI bots to create art, you're feeding them more information over time. All of these AI bots are creating art and learning and using art from what already exists. But then with the AI bots, they started showing up with these really quirky signatures, and that's how it kind of stirred up a lot of these problems that loads of people are commenting on. A lot of influencers pages saying that it's not ethical because it's stealing other people's art. It's quite normal for an artist just to sign their name at the bottom right of their artwork, and some people have been posting it online to say, is this any artist that you recognize? Is it yours? The reason why this is happening is because loads of the information that Lensa or DALL-E is using are pictures from the internet. Usually when you upload pictures on the internet, it's just there. That is where typically most artists put their signature at the end, and then they upload it online. There's loads of headlines sweeping up saying, magic avatar, you paid X amount of money, it's probably stolen. Image apps like Lensa AI are sweeping the internet. It's just questioning where originality, like where does theft come into the line? And even on Twitter, there's a lot of comments about it too. So what is my take on Lensa AI art? I think where we have to start when it comes to questioning all of this is go back to the very basics. Simply going back to, what is art and what does it mean to be creative? Let's go back to the dictionary. Art, it's the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as a painting and sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. And creativity is the use of imagination or original ideas to create something, and its inventiveness. So it is the human creative skill, and that is something that we use as a form of expression. So as someone who does come from a more artistic but also a sciencey background, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to put it out there just to ask a few more questions. And the opinion that I have about creativity in a traditional term is that when you go out to find inspiration, you go out to the fields, you go out to see the world, travel the world, do eat, pray, love. And then we go out to copy what's around us. We get inspiration by seeing another artist's work, or you see a particular method that an artist is using to make a sculpture, take photos, play music. We can kind of like visualize what they may be feeling when they're creating that piece of work. That is when naturally, as humans, we have our own touch to it because we have our own stylized set of skills. our hands, our brain, our eyes can interpret something out there. We may copy it, but it will never exactly be the same. That is our own twist to things, where we make that copied version of art ours, if that makes sense. And simply for AI art, I just think it's a really, really sped up version of what we are doing now. And when it comes to creating things, I simply see it as a tool to aid my work rather than see it as something to be more afraid of. So when I use AI to even create this script, I know that I will be able to find a format, because when you write something, you always have an introduction, you always have a body, you always have the end conclusion. That is everywhere. That is absolutely everywhere. But what makes it ours is our opinion, my thought process, the examples that I've seen, which many others may not have seen. Maybe the AI haven't seen that before. That piece of work isn't just AI, it becomes ours. So I think AI has a good overview, and it's a very sped up evolution of the way art is going, but I don't think it's something to be fearful of. And once you put something online, it's out there. To be honest, when I look for inspiration, especially, for example, I look for inspiration on YouTube, I also find it through other YouTubers. So I watch other people's content to see what topics they're talking about, and then maybe I'll have my own twist to it and I'll talk about it too. This is what a lot of people do, and especially if you remember the old culture where response videos were quite a thing, that is also taking that similar concept. And our personal twist to everything that we do, that's what makes us human. So I don't think an AI bot could replicate that. So now I'm gonna sidetrack onto something related to AI, but it's not about Lensa wraps anymore. And I'm going into the rise of AI in terms of interactions and how we as humans can interact with AI bots. Have a look at this. And this came out 4 years ago. Google shared the ability for AI to have a phone conversation. It was so accurate. And it feels as though you're really talking to a human being, and especially with like all the ums and ahs.
What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
How can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
I was really shocked when I saw it for the first time, and this was 4 years ago. It wasn't very perfect, but it was very, very accurate. And then it started to get a little bit creepy when Facebook started their own AI, and that is where they got 2 AI bots to talk to each other. At first it was a normal conversation, but then it started to go into their own language.
I can I everything else.
Both have 0 to me, 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 too.
You I everything else.
Both have a ball to me, to me, to me, to me, to me, to me, to me.
I everything else.
It's just super weird, and it kind of steered so much fear in the tech world. And even more recently, there was like a huge influx of AI influencers. So people like me, and they have their own personality, their opinions, their careers, and they even have relationships too, just like a real human being. I think the most famous AI influencer is called Miquela, and it was created by a company called Brood. And she's had so many interviews with different influencers or YouTubers, big campaigns like Calvin Klein or Prada. Her Instagram and YouTube is just really grown. When you watch her interviews, they're really interesting because she does come from a perspective of being a bot, but also she has like more of a Brazilian take on things, and she has different languages, even broke up with an ex-boyfriend now, and it just feels like a normal conversation. Miquela's not the only AI influencer. There's also Bermuda, which is Miquela's friend. Then there is Shudu, an AI model who made loads of campaigns for luxury brands like LV or Fenty. She is really detailed, like proper skin-like detail when it comes to her. But then it's a bit different because she seems to be more of a photography kind of model rather than video. And then there's Rozy. There's a South Korean AI influencer, and she was really famous in Korea because there were so many adverts on TV showing her. AI influencers in general, they are an interesting thing to look at, but it does also raise some ethical concerns for quite numerous reasons, because they were created to look and feel like real people with thoughts and opinions, and they have their own personalities and their social media profiles to share that. But the fact that they're not real, it kind of questions the authenticity of their creatives online, because even as an influencer now, and seeing other influencers, human version, we still have a struggle of whether something is authentic or not, because sometimes they show like a little brand here and I'm like, I love this lipstick when it was sent to me for free and I was paid to say that, or something like that. So we still have a lot of authenticity problems even as a human. So when it comes to AI bots, it's a little bit confusing. For me, I would say fashion, I get it. I could see a lot of campaigns like creating a lot of perfect aesthetics when it comes to their photos, their videos. Like you can perfect a studio set, whereas using humans, you have to like wait until they're available. You have to calendar schedule everything, the photographers to meet the producers, the directors, and then with the management companies, and it's just a whole slew of things. Whereas I think with an AI bot, it's so much easier to make content. I think for fashion, it's really good for outfit inspiration. They just slap everything on and it just looks great. When it comes to reviewing beauty campaigns where skincare or makeup is being applied to the skin, I think that's where it gets a little bit weird. There have been videos where AI bots have reviewed skincare or makeup on bot skin. It's a bit confusing. So I don't think in that aspect they can replace humans. I think also similar with the whole Lensa app thing, there's a big boom in popularity because it's something new and it's quite an interesting world that we live in today. I still don't think that human touch can be replaced just yet. Unless they can create a soul for AI influencers, then maybe. So what do you think about this whole AI art, scripting, AI influencers? It was really interesting seeing the development from, I guess, like quite a few years ago, where you have the talking bots from Google to then the Facebook scare, and then now to AI influencers, and then the rise of AI art. And I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. So comment down below what you think and I'll chat to you down there. So if you enjoyed today's videos about my thoughts and opinions, then I want you to go and check out my 4-part series about unfulfilled work and how your thought process can be kind of like shifted to find some more fulfilling work. Then check my 4-part series over here and I will see you there. Bye.